All right, team, there's entirely too many good setups going into tomorrow. I had to make a video to break down what we will potentially be watching for tomorrow. This is SPY. I'm on the 5-minute chart time frame, very tight range that it traded in today. So the resistance is clearly at the all-time highs. That's 418.25. We tested that price point 3 times today, just couldn't break it. But we also tested support around 417.2 a few times and couldn't break it. So my plan going into tomorrow is either we get a new high and we are bullish on the day, or we don't. And that if we don't, either we're looking for a short or we're looking for, possibly more range trading or more chopping around. Both of those scenarios for me are not ideal. I would like to see a new high be made, and if that is the case, I think we're going to see a lot of different stocks kind of take off. So here's what we got going into tomorrow for sure. Going back to the daily chart time frame, first one on the main chart watch list will be SQ. So we're going to see a lot of this. Pullback kind of bottom bounce plays where stocks have found some level of support and then are bouncing off of that bottom. So SQ today had a very nice run at the end of the day on higher volume. It's unfortunate. We were trading Microsoft at this time with a similar setup. It was kind of like a symmetrical triangle-ish. That's not very pretty, but it's there. And then this got the run into the end of the day, and that's what we were looking for on Microsoft. Unfortunately, Microsoft didn't run as hard. But I like that this is now up and over the minor level of resistance here around 250. So we finally got a daily candle to close over that whole number. We're confirming the bounce off of the 50 EMA as support. And there's plenty of top side room for this to run. So from here, we are just simply looking for a continuation play, long idea over 256 or 257, depending on where this opens up at. Right, price target 1 will probably be 260, and then above that 265, and then 270. The next one on the main chart watch list for tomorrow will be Apple. So we've analyzed this quite a bit. The analysis has not changed. There is still big resistance here at 135. So for tomorrow, either we're looking for a break of 135 or not. I think that I would probably move the trigger up to like 135.5 or 135.4 just to be safe. Because the last thing that I want is that we take a long position over 135 and then we get rejected 50 cents later at this level of resistance here. So it's up to you how you want to play it. If you don't mind the risk and you want a little more profits, you can take it long over 135. Or if you want more confirmation, just wait on it to break 135.5. The ideal situation is that Apple actually breaks 135 overnight and then opens up in the morning closer to like 135.5. That way, we don't have to worry about breaking 135 for resistance. We can just look for one level to be broken, and then we're home free from there. Price target of about 137, 138 in mind. But one step at a time, needs to get over 135 first, okay? Back to the daily chart time frame. Next one on the main chart watch list will be Microsoft. So this one actually pushed up into the highs today, but just couldn't sustain the move. Actually, that happened right at open. So, it's kind of, you could argue that it really didn't make a new high today. 262 is the true level of resistance. So rejected here a couple of times today, a few times intraday. This was the symmetrical triangle that I was talking about. So we were able to catch this move here. It was alerted on this candle. Nice pullback test of for a retest confirmation, and then the move up to 262. The only thing is that the contracts were moving very slow, so I think we only took like 7% on this play from the time that it was alerted up to the time that it ran. So that was unfortunate, but it is what it is. Maybe tomorrow we'll get a break of 262 and run a true break of 262 and run into the all-time highs. I'm not super worried about that 0.44 cents because it was only a wick in the first 5 minutes. So that to me is kind of like outlier data. That's not the true resistance. 262 is the level that I'm watching. The next one on the main chart watch list will be FUBO. So it's breaking the downtrend, another kind of bottom bounce play here. Breaking the downtrend on the daily chart time frame, made a new high today. This pattern on the 5-minute time frame is known as the fishhook pattern, where it pushes up, meets some level of resistance, and pulls back, but holds most of the gains for the day. So this means that there is a likely continuation pattern, coming tomorrow, because we know that stocks move in waves. So wave 1, pullback, wave 2. This is what we're looking for right there going into tomorrow. So this is a continuation pattern because if the stock were to just run up all day, then it's more likely that it would pull back at open tomorrow and then go. So since it's already pulled back intraday, the only move that we're looking for from here is the go, right? So this will be a long idea. Over 22 would work, or over 22.2, depending on where it opens and your personal level of comfort. I would be very careful trading this stock though, because you see it makes big moves up and big moves down, big moves up, big move. I mean, it's almost retracing the entirety of the move. So just be cautious. Make sure you're managing your position sizing. You know, you don't need, with a stock price this cheap, you don't need much capital to make decent returns, especially if it's running over 5% in a day. Yeah, that's right at a 6% move. I think it makes over a 5% move pretty often. So the profit margin being there is not something that we should be worried about. The thing that we need to be worried about are those pullbacks and drawbacks. So price target of 24 is where the 200 EMA is located and where the top side of this ranging resistance is at. So if it can break over 22 and hold, really ideally over 22.2 and hold, price target of 24 is that's not far off. You know, that's not out of the question. There are a few stocks that I may or may not include on the watch list. I'm going to call those alternates, but we're going to get to the side charts first. One of the side charts is going to be AMC. So another one that's kind of bottom bouncing here off of the 50 EMA. Big push up today. After hours got a little bit of movement. GME is running after hours as well. So if this move sustains, I think AMC may have potential to continue to run. From a technical standpoint, it just looks pretty good anyways. So a break over $12 is what we're looking for. Price target of 13. $1 move, yes, but percentage-wise, that's 8%. Plenty enough for profits there. That's only a side chart though, because it's pulled back quite a bit off of $12. So it's at 11.5 or so right now. Needs to get up and over 12 to have my interest. NKLA, another one that is a bottom bounce play. So it had this push up, pull back, and then another push back up to the top side of this kind of range that it's forming now. So I have alerts set at $12.80. If it can break the top side of the range, I'm interested in it. If not, I don't care. It can sit here in range all day if it wants to, but if it makes a new high, I want to know. So alert set at 12.8. APHA is the next one on the side chart watch list. We've analyzed this one before. Nothing's changed. There's a gap area over the $15 price point, so we're simply looking for a break of 15 and a potential gap fill. I do want to caution you to be careful of the 20 cents resistance overhead. So if it breaks 15, there's a chance that it does meet resistance at 15.2. That is still relevant, but just something to be mindful of. If it has the momentum behind it and it's really truly breaking over 15, that 15.2 shouldn't be an issue. It's only one time that level is hit anyways. The big resistance is at 15. So we'll see. Got to get to 15 first, and we'll play it from there. The next one is Netflix. This one is another bottom bounce play. It hasn't bounced yet, but it's priming up. It kind of looks like it's ready to. So earnings, big drop, and it's been validating the $500 whole number as a support. This line is wrong. Let me move that up. So there's your range between 500 and about 512, 514 or so. So I just want to see if it can break out of this range. I don't care if it breaks down or to the top side, but I'm just waiting for a directional move. So have alerts set to either side. You see mine are set at about 515.50, and then again at 518, and then below 500 at around 496. So if it can break over, I think I'd be interested in it, honestly, over like 514. We'll see if I can get there though, right? 514, 515 area. Over 515.5, I think is extra confirmation. This one may not be ready tomorrow, but keep your alerts set on it. And same for APHA. May not be ready tomorrow, but keep your alerts set on it, because at some point that may be a play, right? Something like 90% of gaps get filled within the market, and APHA and Netflix both present gap opportunities. They're both gap setups. So even if these don't hit tomorrow, they might hit later on this week or later on next week. Just something to keep an eye on. All right, I've got 4 charts that I'm calling alternates. They may or may not make the watch list depending on where they open. PLUG being one of them. I was not a fan of the price action today on this. So opening move went red and then big recovery back up. And by the time it recovered, I was like, well, that's too much of an extended play for me to really want to take the trade. Although off the watch list, it was a long over 29, and that gave you some decent profits there if you were taking that trade. So this one, I'd like to see it maybe open up near 30 or at 30. And if that's the case, it might make the watch list. Otherwise, I'm not really interested in it. Right? So I want to check on it in the morning to see if it's opening up at or near 30, and if it is, it has my interest. If not, no interest. All right, the AAL is the next one as a alternate. So bottom bounce play here, consolidating below the 50 EMA, reclaimed the 50 EMA, breaking this downtrend here on the daily. Looks good for a continuation play. So this will be a long idea over 22.1. This actually looks really good. This pattern here is known as an ascending triangle. So to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see this gap up overnight. But yeah, it needs to hold 22 to have my interest. So over 22.1, I would have a price target of about 22.5 and then 23 in mind. And that, I'm kind of basing that off of like all of this consolidation. So if I just drew a trend line there, you see where that resistance is at from where it's currently at. So that would be 22.5 would be the next level of resistance if it were to maintain the move or validate the move over 22. Workhorse, WKHS. This is an alternate play only because I've already talked about NKLA being a side chart. I don't want to include too many EV stocks, but this one seems to maybe have validated support here at $12 yet again. So there's your support ever since that kind of major drop. And it's tough to say that it's breaking the downtrend because we haven't really had a big volume move other than this one, but it retraced, immediately after that. It has slowly started to grind back up. So I have alerts set just over where it's currently trading at. So at 13.5. If it can open up above that or above 13.4 and just under 13.5, I'll consider putting it on the watch list. Nice moves today. Not a fan of the opening drop and recovery, but it did close closer to the top side of the range. The last one that I have for you is Boeing, and this one is also an alternate. So bottom bounce play, reclaiming the 50 EMA. I just didn't like the fade off into the end of the day. So beautiful play this morning. We were able to catch this one on this dip entry here at 241. Beautiful, beautiful move up into the high, but faded off all day. So I don't know if this makes our watch list for tomorrow. It could be a case of where, this old resistance validates as new support, and then we get a trend line break, which would mean that we don't need to necessarily wait for it to get to 245. We could take the play long over like 242 or 243. But it needs to hold, it absolutely needs to hold 240 for that to even be a scenario that we're interested in. All right, that's all that I have for you. Press the like button if the videos helped you out. If you're making some money, these plays were posted on Twitter and in my video yesterday. So the trades that we took today were posted there, and I got a lot of messages. People not even in the Discord server making money. Quick review. FUBO, SQ, AAPL, MSFT, all making my main chart watch list. AMC, NKLA, APHA, and FLX all making my side chart watch list. PLUG, AAL, Workhorse, WKHS, and Boeing, BA, all making the alternate watch list. I will see you all in chat tomorrow. Let's make some money.